Welcome aboard Teleport. If you just come down the stairs there, you'll see our galley where we've got our 2-burner stove and some like pots and pans holders behind there and cup holders, spice rack. We've got a like utensil and plate holders, more storage for our food there. Then we have our lovely bookshelf that we made and more storage under here, and even more storage. This is where we keep our 4 months worth of food supplies. And then we have our 200 litres of water is under here, and our bed which folds down, and then down in here this is where we keep all our camera lenses, so they're just really easy to get to, and the cameras go in the bottom bit. We can just plug our iPod into our music player and we can listen to some cool tunes. And then we have our kerosene lamps. This is the saloon table that we made at Terry's workshop, and we can have some fancy dinners on it.
This is our Nav Area, so we've got all the main switches for all the different types of circuits, like for the VHF radio or the heater or the music or something like that. This is our AIS Watchmate system, which basically lets us see where all the ships are around us and also lets the ships see us, which is great. This is our VHF radio for, you know, sort of local kind of radio communication. I've got a cool torch here, a lead lenser torch, but it's a great system of charging it. You can just sort of chuck it against the wall and it sticks up there and automatically charges itself. What else have we got here? A red light. This is for when at night you can work on your charts down here and stuff without the bright white light or something destroying your night vision. That's pretty cool. Pens and pencil holders, and in here is our ice box. So under the hood, this is our very cool 1976 Saab motor. It's a single cylinder, 8 horsepower, look out. But it's very reliable. It's a lifeboat engine, so you can even start it by hand. You can put a handle in there and get it going, which is great if you say your power fails or something like that. But it's a great engine. It's built like a tank.
This is our heads area. So this is where the toilet is, and we can keep all our wet weather gear here. And there's a little vent for the heater down below, so it can actually dry out all the wet weather gear. We've got towels and toiletries, and then over here we've got the awesome shelf that Chris made, so we can just put our clothes in there, and hopefully when the boat heels over they won't fall out. And then into the V-bar, this is where we keep our life jackets. We've got 2 life jackets with personal EPIRBs attached to them. We've got a whole box with spares. We can keep our fruit and vegetables in here. We've got a sail and a whole bag of ropes, a few spare anchors, and a table.
So at the pointy end of the boat, we've got our anchor gear. We're secretly very proud of our 15-kilo Rockner anchor, which will keep us anchored to the ground in bad weather. You know, anchor winch, little forward hatch. We can actually get in and out of the whole boat through this hatch, so it's like a safety escape route as well. Little solar fan to keep it ventilated. These are our jack lines. You snap onto these with our harness, and you can walk up and down the length of the boat without being able to, you know, fall overboard. Then grab rails all the way along, and this thing is like a network of pipes that all the lines on the deck run through these pipes, so you can put all sorts of stuff on deck without them just sort of squashing the lines down, because we're going to mount our dinghy upside down on the deck here. And this is our big 100 litre flexible fuel tank, so we'll fill that with diesel, and that'll be underneath the dinghy as well. So these tubes just let us put whatever we want on the deck. These are very cool. They're 2 rotating pram hood things. And the idea is, as you'll see later in the inside, in the mid-cockpit, you can control the whole boat from in there. And these are just little spray hoods that you can sit under there and keep the weather off you while you can look around and see what's going on. They're a pretty unique system. Obviously got our boom and the yard, and the junk rig sail that kind of fans up in between there, up the mast, all the jack lines and all that kind of stuff. So starting with a bit of a tour of the cockpit, starting with all the stuff out the back. This is our wind vane self-steering gear, which is pretty cool. It's a bit of an antique. It's actually a Hassler Gibb vane. Blondie Hassler is the first guy to ever develop this kind of self-steering gear system, and he's also the guy who designed the boat as well, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that just points us in the right direction. And you can control it by all these lines and stuff that run along back to here, where you can control it even from inside the mid-cockpit. You can control all the lines. Obviously we've got our big archway here where all our electronics sit on top. We've got 2 different GPS antennas. One's for the AIS system, We've got a wind turbine, that's our air breeze thing that'll give us lots of power while we're just sailing along, hopefully. We've got our radar dome, so lets us see through the fog, because there's a whole lot of fog around here. An AIS antenna, big solar panel, so we'll get some sunlight with a good old 24-hour sunlight. We've got a life ring. Hopefully we don't have to use that one. So we've got a tiller to steer the boat. It doesn't have a steering wheel. So yeah. Got all the engine controls down here. So this one is the throttle for speeding up the engine, but this is for the pitch of the propeller, because you don't actually have a reverse gear or anything like that. It just changes the angle of attack of the blades, and if you want to go into reverse, you kind of turn the blades the opposite way and it sucks you backwards instead of going forward. That's pretty cool. We've got our lazarette hatches. We've put a lot of storage stuff in here. Got to tidy that up a little bit. Compass, and very important to have a drink holder, obviously. Nice drink holder there. Shore power, not that we're ever going to be connected to the shore. We've got a nice waterproof speaker so we can enjoy some music out in the cockpit. Little porthole, and then into the middle cockpit. So this is what we call our mid cockpit, and it's like an area between the outside cockpit and down below where you can actually steer the whole boat from and control everything in bad weather, which is great. So we've got all of our nav gear here on a little folding arm, so if you're out in the cockpit you can swing it across, clip it on over there, but if you're down below, clip it on down here. So this is our GPS chart plotter, things like depth sounder and so on. We've got wind indicator stuff, our radar. What else have we got? Over here we've got our EPIRB. All the deck lines come down onto these spools over here. Same thing over here, so like the main sheet comes down here, so you can wind it all on there. This is our tracker over here. That's our Solara field tracker, which sends our position back to our web page I think I've set it for every hour at the moment, which is great. So you've got a map embedded on the web page there. Grab rails and more storage. So these things are pretty cool. You saw before the rotating pram hood things at the top. You can snap on a little seat under it. It's like a gimbaled seat, and you sit on here, and you know you're going rocking back and forth, and you can't even feel it. It's like a gimbaled seat, so you can sit here like that. When you're on watch, you can just look out. You know, keep the hood around so that the weather's not blowing into your face, and yeah, it's great. Also got a little heater outlet here from our Webasto diesel heater, so you can direct nice hot air in here when you're on watch and it's cold. This is our manual bilge pump, so you can stick the handle in there and pump out the bilge. This is pretty cool. It's very cool actually. I think it's like the world's brightest torch. It's a LED Lenser Epic spotlight, so they're all super bright LEDs. It's brighter than a car or a truck headlight. Boo! So the idea is we can spot icebergs with this thing up to about 500 or 600 meters away. You should be able to see an iceberg, and just to help us scout around. Sometimes it's nice to know what's around. So it's good to know we've got an awesome torch.